Okay, what we're going to demonstrate here is the assignment that I asked you to do, which is to find a product that exists that you feel is a geometric style or design. And then I want you to sketch over the drawing and demonstrate what um, the shapes are that are within it. The value of doing this is that when you start to do your SolidWorks model, you already have an idea in your head what modeling parts you're going to use, whether it be a extrude, a revolve, it's going to be a cylinder, it's going to be a rectangle. And the reason this is good is you want to quickly and simply break down what the complexity is of your model so that that helps, especially when you're doing a 3D model of a different design or someone else's design. So let's start here, and what we can see right off the bat is that we have a cylinder that has been drawn. Now, what I'm going to do here is just adjust my brush a little bit so that you can kind of see it a little bit more and that it's thicker. So what we've got is that first initial cylinder that is probably more of an extrude, or it could be a revolve, and I'll quickly show you that in a second here via a sketch. So as we know, when we talk about an extrude, what we're basically doing is creating a cylinder or a circle that is on a sketch plane, and then we take that 2D drawing and we basically extrude it upwards. So that is what we end up with from a 3D perspective, and we can see that. So let's just go in, we'll do a little bit of erasing there. So that's our first part that we're doing. Now, as we look at things, we have other cylinders that we are extruding here. So we can kind of go in and say, here's a cylinder that we're extruding right there. That would probably be a separate body as we look at things and break them out. And either we can extrude them as separate bodies, or I'll show you how we can do them as all one single part and then cut them. So just like if you were to have a piece of foam, you would make the one entire cylinder and then you would cut it out into separate parts. So what we can also see is, as we look at this, we have a rectangle at its basic heart. So, and when I say what we have is a rectangle, even though it's what we'll talk about later, which could either be made as a series of rectangles or we could do it as a sweep. But basically, same as what you learn how to do in sketching, which probably John Caruso showed you this, we are going to rough it in with a box. And sometimes people see that other designers don't draw the box to start with. And really, the primary reason for that is because they have sketched so much that they already see the box and they don't necessarily need to see it. So I'm just doing a quick box here. But you can see that if I start sketching this in order to get this shape, what I'm doing is I'm creating a series of cylinders within the box now to get an idea of what this shape looks like. So if we were to look at it, you've got cylinder, or sorry, rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. This bottom one is a rectangle as well. And then basically what you do is you go back over and you break things out. So you would join these as the part, and then you start dumping in your radiuses that you would be using. So you can see where, as I join these parts, I start building in the radiuses and have that going. And then at the heart of it, you've basically got your handle. Now, there's a few more little details that you want to put in, but that can be done after the fact and still all extrudes. So, but here we have our basic. Then you would add the radiuses on the corner. So you can see how that handle, even though there's a little bit more form there, it is made up as rectangular extrudes. Or, and we'll get into that later, we could do this as a sweep. So we want to continue going. Now, as we break this out again, you can see that we've got a cylinder over here. That's an extrude. So again, based off a circular sketch on a plane, you would most likely extrude that. And these are the things that as you do more and more 3D modeling, you kind of break this out and understand what it is. So again, we've got another cylinder that has radiuses, but you can see that it is still a cylinder. And this one would probably be a sweep, but at the heart of it, you can see that this overall shape that you were drawing in is a rectangle. So again, you would most likely start off in your sketch of building your boxes to have all those different shapes. Now, because we have cylinders within our sketch, what we would most likely do is you can extrude separate parts, or what you can do is do cuts. But you can see there's a cut there, there's a cut there, and this could give you separate bodies like we talked about. So that's body 1, and then that's body 2. Go with body 3, body 4, and body 5. Basically what that is on its entirety, one cylinder or one extrude, and then you break it up into its separate parts. So, and then at the top we have another one that would have to be separate because we're looking at different widths. Now again, usually what I like to do is radiuses come after doing all the extrudes, but you can start looking at and see that that is a radius, and that's what we're doing. Now, in the end, you can see that this is a very simple product, which geometric shapes are simple, and it is a nice thing to model, and really Solidworks eats, sleeps, and breathes it. Now, that is what I wanted you guys to do for your homework assignment. If you want, find coffee makers. It's not too hard to find some designs that are geometric in shape in today's marketplace, because that styling of the simplistic bronze style Dieter Rams. If you're not familiar with Dieter Rams, take a look at him. Basically, all Apple products are based off of his style principle. So if you do this, maybe 1 or 2 products, but the goal is to start understanding what are going to be the shapes that you use for your design, as well as what are potentially the tools that you'll be using. Thank you, and I will talk to you guys soon.